Per loan, yeah, per loan it is. So we can do that on another
Okay.
cup of gumbo on what loans, what the seller concessions are.
Okay.
But closing costs, it's broken down. It's prepaids, which again is your taxes and insurances, okay? And closing costs, by definition, is your title fees, lender fees, and any discount points.
Okay, and then now the home's ours. So what does our homeowner's insurance cover?
Well, and that's a great thing. So that's where what you've got to look at is several different things, okay? You have what they call all perils, or also a fire policy, okay? Or you will have wind and hail, okay? And what you've got to look at is sometimes they're all written together or they're separate. Under the wind and hail, that's where you're going to have a named storm or your hurricane deductible
Okay,
as
that's
well.
what I was going to ask, if the hurricanes are related into that, or Louisiana separate
Yes,
policy or whatever.
Yeah, well, and anywhere, for us it might be hurricane. Somewhere else it might be, mudslides or snow, whatever it is, right? But for us here in the Gulf South, we're looking at you're going to have a fire policy and usually a separate wind and hail. And under that wind and hail is going to be a hurricane deductible for what's called a named storm.
Okay.
Because if a named storm comes through, like we had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're talking about that with the Queen of Insurance.
That's
with the
right.
Roofing policies.
That's right.
Yep.
So once it's named, then that portion kicks in. Okay. The biggest thing everybody's got to understand is also when you're getting, let's say you're buying a home for $300,000 is what you're buying it for.
Right.
Well, your insurance, okay, has to be based on either loan amount or replacement cost. So if you're buying a home for $300,000, but the cost to rebuild it is $325,000, we got to insure for the $325,000,
Right.
Because we don't want to leave you short.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Something
cover
happens,
yourself.
it burns down, it gets blown away. Then what? You want to make sure that you are insured enough to rebuild that home in full so you're not shorthanded. So that's very important, and a lot of people don't understand that, and they're getting quotes and they're not understanding certain things. So we want to make sure that we're doing that right. And a little bit of a bonus for you here, unit, is when you are getting homeowners insurance quotes, okay, if you are buying the house with your wife, partner, significant other, whatever we're calling it, right? You've got to make sure that both names are on that application.
Okay.
A lot of people will call and they'll go, hey, I need to get an insurance quote. Well, their credit might be a 750, but the person that's going on the loan has a lower credit score. Well, that affects policies and that affects your rates. So that's a big thing. And a lot of these companies don't ask that, where with us, with our team, with the Queen of Insurance and her team, we make sure that we get that right every time so there's no surprises.
All right. Well, thank you for answering those questions right there. That's the big three for your first time home buying. We'll see you next week, Gumbo Nation. Thank you.